Hello, welcome to Pick Central. We're doing callers today. We got a bunch of topics, but we want to do some callers today. So put up the numbers. 888-STOOL-22. It's 888-786-6522. Call in with whatever you have to talk to about with me, Smitty, and Clemmer. How the fellas doing? Smitty, how you doing? It was a normal question. There was nothing behind that.
Just, no malice there, Smitty.
Nothing. It was just how you doing.
Good.
Let's just talk about that yesterday.
I'm doing great, Marty. Thanks for asking.
Good for you, Clemmer.
Thank you.
It was because people are going to ask on the chat about it.
You can chat, you call in. I'm in a lot better place now. Had a good talk with my wife last night. We're settled. You know, Marty, let me tell you something. There are more stars in the sky than there are grains of sand in the beaches of Earth. Can you contemplate that and imagine?
Is it?
That's true.
That's very true. So why the fuck should I care about little things?
I do love that. That's what got you. That got you in your head. You're like,
It's
wow.
perspective.
It is. It is.
Don't sweat the small stuff.
Let me tell you something. When you're in the shit, it feels like your world is like, it's this big. And it's like, that's all that's happening. And then you walk outside and you go, that person doesn't know who I am or give a fuck what's happening. That person doesn't give a fuck what's happening. And it's like, wow, it's not that bad.
Did get a good Smitty from a subway worker or a SEPTA worker today, which was lovely.
That's nice.
Yeah.
That's nice.
No, but I mean, everything's good. Got into a good match last night on Twitter with a billion-dollar media mogul and a blogger pushing 40 about Fortnite.
That I gotta
be
be
how
honest,
that works out in real life, but it did.
Listen, I don't like the beef and like when it gets into your life and stuff, but the tweets did make me laugh. The Fortnite stuff, like when Dave's talking about Fortnite and you are like, and the servers and Wi-Fi,
it means
that's Barstool back,
and it means absolutely nothing. It means nothing in the end, but it is hilarious. When I was going back and like trying to look up the footage, and I was. It took me a while because there's tons of it. There's thousands of hours of it, and it was 5 years ago. I was just laughing at Dave's lackeys having to go leave dinner, go to a computer and look up old 5+ years of Fortnite and Barstool Radio clips to try to fire back.
It was all, and
that's what's funny.
Yeah,
sadly,
it's all funny. It was. I was having a good time with it on Twitter. You haven't really experienced much of this. You were in it. What, been a year now?
I've been here, yeah.
So you haven't experienced
just
much
over a year.
Of the
No, I haven't.
Dave wrath, and when you get on Twitter and that, like when I saw Dave was even putting out like the voice memos of you, and I was like, I don't even know how you do that. First of all,
I don't either. But it was like. But it was also corroborating my story. I was like, yeah, man, there's separate streams. I did multiple all-nighters. Whatever. It doesn't matter. 10 years from now, whatever. 10 years from... My wife said something great. Like, a week from now, it doesn't matter. 10 years from now, like, my family is going to be there. Hopefully. Everybody's healthy.
Yes.
10 years from now, nobody's going to remember this at all. Like, I did some stuff that I stressed over so much in, like, when I was first starting out here in, like, 2011, 2012. That was, like, decent stuff in my mind. And, like, when I did stand-up comedy, I would stress over that so much. Nobody remembers it now.
Yeah, I know.
It's like, you can go back and look it up, like, but like, nobody remembers it.
You're your own worst enemy when it comes to that, because I've been through it all, and it's just like you think your world's crashing, and then you wake up the next day, you're like, oh, it's not that bad.
No, it's not that big of a deal. In the moment, you know, the stuff that I run into, which I know is a lot less than you guys, it does feel all-encompassing. And then, like you guys say, like a week or two later, it's like, oh, that wasn't that big of a deal. But in the moment, though, it does feel like the world's closing in on you.
And listen, Dave has said it. Dave has said this completely and very honest. Like, listen, if he knows that he can make fun of you and talk to you like that, it does help you in a weird way. Because he, like, doesn't... Because if he thinks that you'll, like, cry and freak out.
It's weird that he touches, like, the weirdest spots for me, like the Fortnite stuff. Like we streamed so much and got so many views and advertisers and was shit on then, called lazy then, called unproductive then, even though in 2021 we streamed for 3 months out of the year live. Like, that's not Monday we streamed 2 hours, Wednesday we streamed 6 hours. No, 3 months of 24-hour days. Like, we were live. So it touches a spot a little bit when you go back to that. And that's just not me. That's credit to Devlin, too, and MRags and Blaze, who is with Patty the Batty and Radio Bren. But it just, like, touches a nerve, like, when he recalls a story like that and just tries to sewer me and gets it wrong. That's
the romper room, the game time will go down as one of the funniest and one of the craziest times of Barstool. Just like of you guys going at each other and what happens. I know that happens in teams here, and it's fucking crazy. But hey, it was nice to see a little old school Smitty and Dave going back and forth with Fortnite last night.
It's just absurd. It's absurd. And like I made a joke saying that, like, what would you be doing if you weren't at Barstool? And I just wrote, like, as obviously a joke, not arguing with my boss who's wrong about a Fortnite video 4+ years ago, and Dave quote tweeted, and everyone's like, oh, you should be so happy you have this job, like the way you try working in a real way. I'm like, that's what it is. It's a joke. It's absurd. It's absurd. I am grateful for that.
Well, that's what the internet is. It's always like, when you don't have the job, you're always the person on the internet that's going to be like, I would be this, I'll be doing this at this job, whatever. It's like, you don't know exactly how it all goes, but that's why.
And also how media works. Like, anybody who's worked here, I think you'd be, like, for a significant amount of time, unless you get canceled, I think you'd be okay.
I don't agree.
You don't agree?
I think that it's you have to be a different type of person to work here.
No, you definitely need to be a different type of person.
I'm saying, like, mentally. Like, I think that you have to know how it all. Like, this is not like, I don't think there's any company like this. Like,
no, I agree to that, but I'm complimenting everybody here in the fact that if you were to say something happened and, like, anybody here left, I think you wouldn't be working at mopping floors at McDonald's.
I took what you said wrong. I was saying someone from a different media company coming here, they'd be like,
oh yeah, no, that's
you're saying vice versa.
Yeah. No, yeah, I agree with you. No,
like, this is one of the mentally toughest place anybody can ever work, and I say that as a compliment.
I am so happy I got this job in my 40s. I know that sounds crazy, but I did not have the maturity. Like, I don't know how SaaS or some of these other younger people handle it. I know myself in my 20s. If I had one person chirp me on Twitter when I was in my 20s, that would have been my all day.
It's also different now. Even like when I started 6 years ago, 6 years ago, it was, and then Smitty 10 years, 15 years ago, whatever you started was different. But that's why Barstool is literally the best, and no one can replicate it. It hasn't been replicated because it's a fucking crazy place. I mean, literally, Za got it. Like, the way people get jobs, the way Za got his job.
Stop. Why are you bringing that up?
Because I got you your job, you ungrateful fuck.
Because it's funny. Because it's one of the most all-time show. And then, like, when people know you, it's not even you. Like, the way we all got our
Hey,
jobs.
Smitty, it's real nice to meet you. Hey, like, I might go in on you a little bit. Is that okay? Yeah, sure, man. Think he's going to call me a hardo, blockhead. Fuck this guy. Fire him right now on the table.
Bald Za was different.
Yeah, he was.
Thanks a lot,
problem.
Marty. Thanks a lot, Marty.
We have to bring
Za,
up,
we love you.
We gotta bring up
Christ.
once every 2 years. Once maybe a week now.
Was an all-time clip.
It's an all-time clip, and it will always go down. But, yeah, call in today. If you want to talk about Barstool, you want to talk about sports, anything, 888-786-6522. Let's start off with the NFL last night. Just quickly, preseason, again, I did what I told you I was going to do. I watched the first 5 minutes, 6 minutes of the game, saw Stroud throw an interception, and I said to myself, oh, that's an Ohio State quarterback in the NFL.
So who's the best Ohio State quarterback ever to come out? Bobby Hoying?
Dude, it's bad.
Yeah.
It's really bad.
But is that, I mean,
Haskins, rest in peace.
I know, but that it only matters. The coach, in theory, puts a system together. So like the Ohio State coach hasn't been there forever. So like, you know what I mean? Like it doesn't go back. It's not like an Ohio State curse. Or
But
Ohio
you can
State
see up to a certain point. Like in recent history, you can say the same thing about Alabama outside of Joe Namath. Up until like
but now,
almost 10 years ago.
Yeah, now they've obviously have some quarterbacks that are playing. But like look up like the past, like, sorry, I know you're doing 7 different things, both of you, but like just Ohio State quarterbacks in the NFL that have been in it.
Well, I mean, Fields, like, story's still out.
Fields don't know yet. He's one person that you can make an argument. The rest,
he was top 10 MVP voting last year. Like, you know. I mean,
we can't.
pretty good.
That was like a couple of the wacky votes.
I'm not saying put in the Hall, but I'm saying he's been successful.
No, he has not.
Yes, he has. So far, in what you expect from him in his career, in that brief window, I would say he's been a successful. His journey so far has been successful for what we've gotten and what you expected coming.
I think the story's still out.
The story's very much. We're only on chapter 1.
Yeah. That's what you're saying. You're
but
wrong.
you can't put him
successful.
He should be excluded from this conversation.
He's the only person that is the story. You cannot close it.
Right.
You cannot close the book on him yet. But one, he has
Probably
not been
on Dwayne Haskins.
Yes,
and Bobby Hoynes.
They're
not playing in the NFL anymore.
There's no way you can tell me that Justin Fields has been successful so far. That's crazy.
Did you see Colin Coward? Didn't know Dwayne Haskins passed.
He said that, which is an idiot.
I think you can successfully. I think you can say he's been successful.
So when you get the first pick overall, you think he was successful?
From when he was drafted till now, I think he's had a successful journey up to this point from what you'd expect from a young quarterback. Yes. Now, if he doesn't improve from now, it will not be successful. But in the measuring stick of what you'd expect from a guy in the first.
Fine.
What's that?
Fine.
All right, then we're kind of splitting.
He's shown
successful is Trevor Lawrence.
Whoa. Fields has shown a tremendous amount of improvement. Maybe not in the passing game, but you didn't have a lot of help. But he's shown a tremendous amount of improvement last year.
Definitely improvement.
Yeah.
But I'm not saying you cannot. You just him saying successful.
For what you'd expect from him, and he's
what you expect.
Yeah, that's a fair point, Marty.
No,
I'm not saying
on a bad team. I don't think he was expected to come in and be Peyton Manning right off the jump.
No.
And even he had a bad first year.
No, I just think he's whatever right now.
Yeah,
a couple of it.
Do you want to read the Ohio State quarterbacks?
Yeah.
I mean, where are we going to stand on, obviously, the Joe Burrow debate? Are we going to count him as an Ohio State quarterback? All right.
I don't.
Well, you got
he won a national championship with one of the best.
Should I be Big F? You got a degree. He got a degree.
If you go there, he's an alumni. That's why I did this without a Big F, because I know that I wouldn't be able to have this conversation.
It's crazy because you got like Braxton Miller, who was a wide receiver, Terrell Pryor, who was a wide receiver for a little bit.
I call Terrell Pryor kind of a success. He made it work a couple of years. Got a check.
Keep going.
And then you got like Art Schlichter. I think he might be the best one.
That's what I'm saying.
I honestly think Bobby Hoynes is up there.
Yeah, I can name players from like the 70s and 60s.
And listen,
Clemmer, do you want me to?
I wouldn't even know. It's even when it's before my time, we're in trouble.
Did Herb Street make the show a little bit?
Yeah, he did.
He's
on the list. He's on Google.
Yeah, he had his highlight reel in college is actually pretty cool to watch.
Listen, that's what I'm saying. It's something you have to talk about.
What are the Texans going to do then? So you have Davis Mills, who was okay-ish, bad last year. You know what I mean? It wasn't like he's the worst player of all time.
Oh, you gotta start Stroud.
100%.
You gotta start.
I think there's so much value in sitting your first year.
But I think sitting when you have someone behind you.
Yeah,
Davis Mills is not someone you're learning from.
It's true. That's
fair. And also, if you have a system and a line where you can protect the quarterback and just let him grow into his growing pains without having a David Carr situation where he's just getting absolutely blasted every day, I see no harm in that. I'm not too familiar with the Texans.
I don't know. I just think like Mahomes and like Brady, and I know these are like high, but all those guys had that time to sit. Aaron Rodgers.
Look at this though. Aaron Rodgers has Brett Favre.
Right. Brady had Bledsoe.
Mahomes had Alex Smith.
Speaking of which, the love coming out of Packers camp for Jordan Love right now. Pretty hot.
I've seen half and half actually.
Really?
I've actually seen people like, oh, we have our quarterback. I've seen that a lot, and I've also seen some reports being like he's not. There's no way he's like okay. I'm sorry. That Trey Lance was he's not an NFL quarterback a lot, but Jordan Love was mostly loved. But I've seen a little bit of it. But I think
it's gonna be tough for him because he's coming into a bad situation where he's following obviously one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time, and doesn't have the team around him to be a success this year.
Weirdly think he'll get he'll get a lot of a long leash with fans.
He should.
And he should, yeah. But I think he's learned from Aaron Rodgers, so he has a lot and I agree with you that when you have someone to learn from, like Patrick Mahomes waiting with Alex Smith, and then just all that 100% helps. You could even see in Hard Knocks with Rodgers and what's his name? Zach Wilson. Like, I agree with that. But when you draft someone to be your franchise quarterback, when you're the Texans and Davis Mills is back there, have to.
I just think maybe a year just seeing what the NFL is like can be a value. Like,
I actually don't like when teams draft a quarterback and then wait till like week 6 to put him in. Like, I think I just think you're throwing him in a bad situation week 6 when you're already like 2-4.
Here's a good question: is Trey Lance considered a bust yet?
Too soon to tell.
I think it's too soon, but
he hasn't played football now in 3 years.
I also think the 49ers absolutely reached for that.
Yeah, he didn't even play his senior year. What were you going to say, Dukes?
I was going to say just Jordan Love also just getting the situation that he's in. It's almost like the Packers are screwing him. He has no wide receivers. They're all rookies. They got rid of all like their veteran wide receivers.
Do they have Dubes, that guy?
Yeah,
they got Watson. Who's
but they got rid of like Lazard,
guys.
all the veteran wide receivers that could probably help a young quarterback get in the groove of that offense. So I think Jordan Love is getting into a bad situation.
Watching the Packers can be very weird.
Yeah,
just like not seeing Rodgers, and then also just like then probably not being very good.
And the Trey Lance situation is just bizarre in itself. Where is he going to be the third string quarterback? Like, where does Brock Purdy really stand? Like, I could see Brock Purdy
to start.
To start, he's the QB1. My hot take is probably going to be that he's not going to be the starter the entire year.
I don't agree with that because I think that Brock Purdy is the guy is exactly what the 49ers I think they needed someone a little more of a level up because Jimmy Garoppolo was the guy too where all you have to do is not turn over the ball for the 49ers.
Yeah,
and defense.
And Shanahan has a phenomenal system going with their running game.
Yep.
And Deebo Samuel is electric. Ayuk is great. But Dukes, I've said this before. Purdy, take nothing away from him. He played absolutely great last year. He had the it factor. The fact that he is Mr. Irrelevant, if he wasn't, I'd kind of agree with you.
Yeah.
I kind of agree. But the fact that he's Mr. Irrelevant gives him so much of that juice factor in my mind. I think he might be a Hall of Famer only because of that.
Yeah. And I wouldn't have believed that I would have said this last year. But now that there's been all like the Brady discussions, he hasn't lost a game, the hype's there, I almost feel like I have to see how cocky, not cocky, but is he going to try to go above his means where he played so conservative last year? If he still plays, yeah, and that's where I agree. But if he does try to do too much, I could see Sam Darnold being the quarterback.
That's also the thing. They're so good, he might have to do that.
Yeah. So quick things. Some interesting lines here. So the NFC West, the Niners are favored to win the division -165, which is pretty high. NFC North, we talked about the Packers. They're tied for last. The Lions are favored +130. We've talked about that on the show. Vikings are +275, and the Bears and Packers are tied at +400.
Yeah.
What a fall from grace for the Packers, huh?
I mean,
I get it, but isn't it? It's just wild to even.
Christ, they couldn't win with Rodgers.
I mean, for the last 30 years, though, we look at this grid, you never see the Packers last.
That's just because you had
Favre and Rodgers, right? But it's just crazy to see that.
Yeah, no, but I think with Brock Purdy, I think that Smitty hit it on that. It's Shanahan. He's going to put him in the best situation possible where he doesn't have to do all the heavy lifting. He needs to. McCaffrey's going to do a bunch, and
that's also kind of an underrated thing this year. A healthy McCaffrey coming into that system,
in a system that he knows now. Mid-season.
Pump the brakes on McCaffrey being healthy. I mean, this guy, he gets hurt all the time lately. I don't trust him.
Yeah, but
is he going to make it 17 games?
Clemmer, we asked Stephen Shea this. You see the way and I just compliment Stephen Shea with NFL football knowledge. You see the way the 49ers offense is run and the schemes they do. There are sometimes holes that are 20 feet wide.
No, it looked when you saw McCaffrey go to the Niners, he definitely looked rejuvenated. It was definitely you could see right.
He's not going to need to be the ground and pound guy.
Same guy that he was with the
That's what I'm saying. The
Panthers.
Panthers, that was it. It was McCaffrey. and he was still electric, and he was doing everything, and he had 90% of the workload of the offense. And the 49ers, he doesn't have to do everything for
Hand up. It took me an embarrassingly long time to realize I was Ed McCafferty's son. Like a really long time.
McCaffrey, too, just going off the 49ers scheme, you could, in my opinion, you could throw any running back in the NFL in the 49ers, and they'll look like a Pro Bowler. When you throw Christian McCaffrey into it and his skill set, holy shit, you're getting the best running back and the most potential.
Mostert, when he was healthy, he was like putting up the best fantasy numbers out there.
Yeah.
And, dude, and this might sound crazy. I think that Deebo Samuel's not even the best wide receiver. I think Ayuk is literally one of the best receivers.
Well, I think George Kittle's the best receiver on the team.
And that's the thing. We haven't even mentioned George Kittle. And that's where, like, this is why it's not – you don't have to be the best quarterback in the NFL for the 49ers to be successful. And he just needs to not turn over the ball. Be smart. Be fucking, like Ev says, patty checkdowns, and just check it down to fucking McCaffrey, Debo, anybody.
So to your guys' point, McCaffrey did play 17 games last year, and played 11 of those with the Niners. The previous 2 years, though, he combined for 10 games. So which McCaffrey are we going to get?
That's what we're saying, though, because his workload is insane on the Panthers.
He's going to be 27 this year, which isn't old, but running back ages, they age, like...
Yeah, he's kind of a freak, though.
He's a freak.
Comes to all of
I think and that's the thing. I get you have to talk about the injury stuff, but like you can't. You're never going to predict it. You can't. And like I know, like when baseball, I think it always happens. NFL, I don't know. I really don't know how to. I hate talking about injuries because you don't know what the fuck's going to happen.
No, you're right. No, and
it's hard to.
It's right.
But I guess you go off of last year, because I mean, what Adrian Peterson tore his ACL and came back and whatever.
Another guy that's just
he's a freak.
Yeah.
But yeah, TJ, really quick. I didn't go to a Trenton Thunder game. I just hit batting practice.
Hey, TJ.
Hey, what's up, guys?
I would have,
Where was the batting practice?
It was at the Trenton. They were playing the Trenton Thunder actually, but I didn't go. I just hit batting practice.
For a guy that's made fun of me at least half a dozen times for talking about the Trenton Thunder, to go without consulting
First
me.
of all, that's disrespect. Half a dozen, way over a dozen. He cried.
I didn't cry.
He cried.
Got a little emotional because my favorite minor league team got dissolved.
Oh no, that's understandable. Yeah. No, that was his team.
Oh man,
minor league teams, they got good things going for them.
Yeah.
Even independent league games.
That was wrong.
I told Clemmer yesterday, if my bachelor party didn't get canceled in 2020, one of the things that was on the table was going to a Delaware Blue Rocks game, and beforehand you could rent out the field, put a keg at the pitcher's mound, and just take BP.
That's literally...
That would be incredible.
That's such a guy fucking thing.
It's awesome.
And that would be... I would sign up for that today. Oh my God, is that still an option?
Yeah, probably.
I want to do that. It was in Delaware?
Delaware Blue Rocks.
I just do it for like...
we should just do it here.
Yeah. You don't even have to make it content.
Literally just to hang out. I don't give a fuck.
Keg on the mound.
Damn. That's fantastic. Anything else NFL related? Oh, we were going through, again, we do this all the time, but top 5 quarterbacks. I want to know who your 5 is. Because one, we all agree is Mahomes. I think the 3.
The top 3, I think, are a lock.
I think top 4 are a lock.
I agree with you, but...
Some people didn't, but I think top 4 in no order, but I guess could be order. I don't really care, is Mahomes, Allen, Burrow, Hurts. Was a 4 that I don't think that could be moved in the top 5. Does everyone agree in the booth? You guys?
I do.
I'm going to throw one in there that could arguably.
Okay,
I'm like, he's a friend of the program, but Josh Allen needs to come out and prove it this year.
This year is
totally agree.
I think I agree with you too. I think he gets put in there a lot for like kind of no reason. Like here's a reason. He's a very talented quarterback. But
no, you know exactly what the reason is.
Why?
The tables. People
you blaming the fans?
People love the tables, so automatically I'm in fucking Joe. What's his name? The Joe Allen's gonna be looked at in the, whatever his name is gonna be looked at. Josh Allen's gonna be looked at in a good light. The tables.
I mean, he's had 35 more touchdowns each of the last 3 years. Like he's great.
I think there's one
to be in the top 5.
I think there's one name that can potentially jump up to the number 2 spot just like that if he has a great year and he's healthy. And it's a former MVP.
Aaron Rodgers.
No.
Former MVP.
Lamar Jackson.
So that's what that was my fifth.
I just worry about the injuries with him.
Yeah.
Lamar Jackson was my fifth.
I mean, he can come in and he can easily win MVP again in my mind. It's just a matter of everything falls. Like, he has the talent to do so. He proved it.
And if Odell Beckham is like Odell Beckham a little bit, and even like a little bit of Odell Beckham,
They always have a running game. They always have Mark Andrews.
and their defense will always just be.
I have Aaron Rodgers in the 5th spot.
Yeah, that's
fine. I think that's where I think Rodgers right now bumps Lamar. Like, Lamar's kind of been hurt and whatever, but I think that because then where do you put Trevor Lawrence?
Well, that's where I come in. I think Trevor. I think it's.
And I don't think you can yet though.
But
He's right there.
Personally, if you're saying my expectations going into the year, Lawrence is 3 for me. He jumps Allen. I think that Allen is obviously a great talent. You go back, Clemmer, to his 3 seasons. I think Dable really helped him out in that offense. You saw him kind of struggle with interceptions last year. I think Dable's like a quarterback whisperer.
Yeah,
I want to
he
see him
is.
thrive and not throw as many picks in this offense with their offensive coordinator.
I thought you were going to spin that into Daniel Jones being top.
I think Daniel Jones is top 10 quarterback. I will not go top 5.
Thank you.
But my Lamar Jackson, I won't put him in the top 5 just because of injuries. But I will say, wide receiver Zay Flowers, rookie from Boston College, is going to be electric.
Yeah, I've seen
offensive rookie of the year.
No, I think that's my pick too.
Yeah.
He's going to be.
I'm obsessed with him.
I am too. I've been watching way too many routes of his in the preseason.
BC guy too. So.
But yeah, no, I think that I think Lamar and that 5th spot I think right now could be like a rotating couple of people. But yeah, it's this is a big year for Allen. I like that we brought this up because yes, the stats are there, but he just isn't getting over the hump that he needs to in beating the Chiefs or beating that Bengals team, I don't know. I think this is a huge year for him, and where a lot of those guys in their prime are kind of like Diggs is a guy getting a little frustrated, it seems like, no?
Yeah, no, I agree, Marty. You can kind of read between the lines or even see something. Right, I think the last year. Right?
I think he explodes this year.
I agree.
too.
But to Marty's point, though, you can kind of see the impatience growing last year a little bit, right?
Yeah. No,
Of course, they didn't use him the right way, especially early in the games, and then towards the end of the games, when you have to use them, they throw into him in double coverage, expect him to make plays, which sometimes he did. But they need to put him in a position a lot better for success.
And to Duke's point too, with Trevor Lawrence, Calvin Ridley could make a huge difference there. That could be a game.
And that's what we have to see though, because that's another guy that didn't play for a full year. You don't know how the rust is or how it comes off, but he does look.
Also, people forget just how bad Trevor Lawrence played the first 8 games of the season last year. He stepped it up second half in the playoffs, but he was he was almost bust worthy at the beginning of the season.
Remember how because
he lost them games.
Brandon Walker loved him, so we were always shit. It was nice to shit him out on Mondays, and we're like, this guy, he could not hold on to the football for anything. And then he obviously showed up and was like, holy shit, he's amazing. But yeah, it's getting me excited. There's preseason games all weekend.
Yeah, there were 2 yesterday, and there's a bunch more today, right?
The Dave argument, the Justin Steele ERA over wins, I mean, that was such a stupid argument, and it's obviously ERA. But translate that to quarterbacks. What would you rather do? Would you rather throw for 5,000 yards, or would you rather be 12-5?
See, I think I might take the wins here.
I think
that might help Dave's argument a little bit with kind of just the overall mentality there.
I always
12-5 and throw for 3,000, be like a run-of-the-mill guy.
Everyone always says
I'd rather be that.
Wins are not a quarterback stat. They're not, but they kind of are.
I don't know. You throw for 5,000 yards, you're starting anywhere. If you're 12-5 and you're a game manager, it just depends.
If you're a winner, if you're always a winner, you're gonna start to be like, that guy always wins.
A big leadership position.
Daniel Jones won 9-10 games last year, and he threw 3,000 yards, and Marty wants to suck his dick.
Wait, this is Trey Lance, by the way. We're just describing Trey Lance.
Can I ask you a question? Why did Daniel Jones get so much shit? Honestly, what?
I think he's fine. It's when you say things like he's better than Justin Herbert. That's when I'm like,
and let's not. let's not like take this out of context. Daniel Jones up until last year deserved the shit. Last year he took care of the ball. He figured it out a little bit, and
One playoff appearance in 4 years.
Yeah, but also like we were in a huge rebuilding, like
yeah.
so.
But that should give me more credit. I'm not giving him shit now. I think he is top 10.
It's a lot of shit.
I don't think he's top
now,
10.
But
He's pretty. If not, he's right there.
Yeah, I say he's top 15.
He's a great game manager.
fine.
He's a great game manager. He can run,
he's top 10,
and he holds on to the ball and
Okay,
doesn't throw interceptions.
Now we got to go to top 10. Who's? Oh, do your top 10. Then.
Okay, let's go through it. So we got, what did we say? We had a top 5. I said Rodgers was there, right? We put Trevor Lawrence in there, Lamar Jackson. Let me think. Let me go through kind of the roster here. Who else I would have ahead of him?
Justin Herbert.
Herbert's
Herbert,
top
obviously.
10.
Right, that's 8.
Would you put Carr top 10?
No,
I don't know.
the
You really?
I think
Where's
Daniel
Ebo?
Jones is.
I know. I
think
get.
so.
Carr. I don't know about.
You got Garoppolo back,
I know. Who I put ahead of him.
Jones.
I put Russell Wilson ahead of him. And I understand why someone would disagree, but Russell Wilson with Sean Payton is interesting to me. I put Dak Prescott ahead of him.
Oh,
I think you have to put Dak top 10.
I mean, he's
As much
he's
as it
ahead.
hurts to say, you have to put Dak top 10.
Tua.
And I would.
I just worry about
but
his health.
that's just injury. That's injuries. That's
Yeah,
all.
I'd rather have Daniel Jones my quarterback than Tua, just because I'm afraid one more hit, Tua is done for his career. Tua's a more talented
Look,
guy.
a healthy
Healthy
Tua
Tua
might be
is-
top 5.
Oh yeah, healthy Tua. We're talking. It's a whole different thing. And maybe if he is healthy, then God bless. But I don't.
why does Justin Fields gets a lot of credit for what?
I have Justin Fields and Daniel Jones
You'd rather see that's
start this season.
crazy
Yeah,
though.
I don't think so. I think a lot of people would agree with me.
I don't. I 100% think that's
You kind of have to put Kirk above Daniel Jones too. You just have to.
Oh, I put Kirk Cousins at Daniel. Yep, I did that as well. So it's we've already named more than 10 guys. He's not a top 10.
He's top 15. He's top 15.
So first of
Nothing to
all,
sneeze at.
Justin Fields.
Honestly,
That's just insane.
Jared
So-
Goff.
I wouldn't-
I might have ahead of Daniel Jones. It's tough. That's
That's like the most equal.
Yes.
Yeah, that I'm okay with. Jared Goff is fantastic.
I like Jared Goff.
But
I don't
no
hate
one
Daniel
talks about,
Jones.
Yeah, no, you do. The way you. When
Oh,
people,
no, I don't.
100%.
I hate when you say
Because
he's
you
better
say-
than Justin
I know,
Herbert. That's so
you
stupid.
know, though, like just get over it. Get off. Stop going on one thing. This is what I'm talking about.
You bring it up every day in
Hey,
the office.
When we're talking about this, no one. You talk about Justin Fields. You're saying he's better than him. You'd rather him. Daniel Jones is a top 5. He's a top 5 rushing quarterback, 1,000%. No one talks about his running at all.
He's a very good rusher. Yeah, absolutely.
No, it's top 5 rushing. Not very
Okay.
good. Top 5.
I have to go and look, but I'm not.
1,000%.
Yeah, I gotta take. I would rather.
I mean, Lamar Jackson's.
Daniel Jones is a better quarterback than Justin Fields right now, but I would rather have Justin Fields.
Absolutely. Yes, that's a take I agree with as well.
It-
And I don't know if that's even going to be true at the end of the year. I think by the end of the year, Justin Fields is going to pass.
Just
Daniel Jones.
based on potential alone.
Right.
I have a question for you guys.
And
Would you rather
I'm sorry, 1 sec. And you know what though? You can compare them. Sorry, Dukes.
No, you're good.
I just had to get.
Put Dukes in the corner.
Yeah.
I had
yeah.
it 1 sec. I said sorry. They have kind of the same situation of like wide receivers set.
Yeah,
Like
I think
who-
the Bears are pretty. They're gonna be okay this year, wide receiver.
This year, I'm saying though.
Oh, yeah,
like,
yeah,
And
last
also the Giants. The Giants had no receivers last year. The Bears also had no receivers last year. I'm saying that they can kind of.
You got Waller, but last year,
Now-
about last year though.
Yeah, the Giants now have Waller. They drafted Hyatt. Like they have, and Shepard's back. They have some people.
Look, I like Darren Waller a lot, especially for fantasy purposes. But it's tough for me to see a Giants tight end that isn't just like a guy you just picked off the factory that produces.
I hate how right you are because it's just Bellinger last year was like that
Yeah.
guy was
Like
working-
since Jeremy Shockey.
Yeah.
it's like truck drivers.
we pick up construction people.
Yeah.
I just feel like that guy's pretty jacked. He can block, maybe catch,
Mm-hmm.
and then if he catches like 2 passes, we're like this guy's great.
Who are the guys in the Super Bowls?
Yeah, it was bad. I can't even remember them. That's how bad they were.
No, they weren't bad. They were productive. They did their
Yeah, but
jobs.
I'm saying, like-
Was it Shockey in the first one?
No, I don't think so.
No.
No,
was
Shockey
gone by
was.
then.
Jesus.
I think he was right before. I think he was like right before.
When you get old, the years all blend together. That's a fact.
All right, Dukes, you can.
Are you talking about for the Giants?
Yeah,
Shockey was before. He was with the Saints, I think, when the Giants won the Super Bowls.
yeah,
Yeah,
it
he
right.
was. You're right, and he won a ring with the Saints. Yeah.
So it's interesting because in the middle of the pack quarterbacks, I think people you haven't mentioned that could be right around the Daniel Jones area. Deshaun Watson.
Kevin Boss.
Kevin Boss.
Thank you,
Deshaun,
Dave.
like, do you think Deshaun Watson's better than
He's
Daniel
in his
Jones?
own category.
Yeah, but
Just
where would you
can't-
rank him?
I don't know. He's in his own.
He hasn't played.
You can't. I don't know because he looked awful last year.
Like, right now,
I
you
would
have to say Daniel Jones is better
I'd
than
gamble on
because
Watson. I'd gamble on
It's a
Watson
gamble, but if you have a
and then
playoff
get
team, you
Jones.
can't risk a gamble those. So like I don't know.
No, I mean, I'll give
It's
him
a
the
weird
season.
situation.
Oh, of course, yeah.
again, this year we'll know.
And
Yeah.
the last quarterback I'll mention, Matthew Stafford.
I think he's just kind of like I think he did what he had to do for the Rams. I think he's kind of just like
Yeah, especially,
I was,
especially
this
with
last year was really
Like
disappointing.
he's not going to be playing with the broken collarbone anymore.
Right.
Like he just
Him this year, I think he's the most interesting quarterback going into because if he struggles, the talk about Stetson Bennett coming into camp, how he's playing, like, do you give him a
he's
shot?
old too, bro. He's
He's
old.
got- yeah.
He's going to be
Both of them.
35.
26.
Yeah.
So is
Stafford's,
Stetson. He's
Stafford's
old
one of those
too.
guys, and I'm not going to obviously speak for him or whatever, but he's one of those guys that would have been just a great story just to retire after
After the win.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That guy got it all.
Yeah.
And go back to
listen,
Detroit for your parade.
And that's
They
why
gave
Ray Bork.
Ray Bork. Yeah.
Stafford has nothing else to prove to me.
No,
Nothing. He was great in Detroit. He was
great at Georgia.
Let's see what he could do on a Super Bowl team, and he won the Super Bowl. And then Cooper Kupp will be
50,000 career yards passing.
Yeah, Cooper Kupp will be interesting too. See how he comes back from injury. All right, the NFL can get you so far. I fucking miss it so much. I can't wait for it to come back.
I want to talk about Kershaw real quick.
Yeah, go do
So
it.
Kershaw came back yesterday, and immediately the first inning. Now it was against the Rockies. I know it was in L.A. He looked like Clayton Kershaw. You know exactly what you expect. I wrote a blog today. The Dodgers have now won the West. Like the Diamondbacks have lost 8 in a row. The Giants are just playing typical like 530, 540 winning percentage Giants ball, which is good enough for the wild card. The Dodgers now have a 6.5 game lead. Their area is under 3 pitching staff as a whole pitching staff for the entire month of August. They are back. And if Urias is going to pitch like he can and Kershaw is going to be Kershaw, the West is over. You know, stamp whatever you need to stamp, which is crazy because the Diamondbacks had a 3-game lead in early July. And that's just gone.
that means
Diamondbacks
nothing
are
with a
just-
young team like that.
It
just
does.
does.
They just fell
An
apart.
established team like
They just completely fell apart, and you got to give the Dodgers credit again. And the Dodgers are doing this with a lot of new players. This isn't the same old Dodgers. They went out and the pitching staff has been kind of piecemeal to some extent. They went out and got JD Martinez. They didn't. They lost Gavin Lux. But they were able to bring up who's next, and they were able to get those guys. And they do have the guys: Mookie Betts, Will Smith, great players.
Muncie's
been
phenomenal this year.
They have 4 guys.
Chris Taylor's always just like
He's okay. They have 4 guys.
He's always just like productive though.
He's okay. Yeah, they have 4 guys with 23 or more home runs already. It's August 10th, 11th. Like that's crazy. Like, the Dodgers are.
Great team to lose another NLCS.
Well, I said that in my blog. They've won. Now they've now won the NOS, assuming they win 10 of the last 11 years. The only year they didn't, they still won 100 games. And what happens now? They've only won 1 World Series. If they don't win another one, they're the same as the 90 Braves.
COVID year.
Yeah, I don't blame. I don't know. I know some people will dismiss that. I get it to some extent.
I think you need to mention it.
I dismiss it. I do it. So that's just I don't.
I won't dismiss it, but I think
I
it's
dismiss it, but
mentionable.
it's definitely like a half a asterisk. It was a weird season.
It was a very weird season.
People don't count the Lakers winning.
I know. It does a bubble thing too. So and honestly, maybe this is my bias. I have a
fans
hard
in the
time counting
stands?
the Lakers too because I hate the Lakers.
There you go. Yeah.
Yeah,
No
I
fans
get
in the
it.
stands.
So then we all agree. The
It's cra-
Dodgers need to fucking put up.
It's
You know what
crazy.
I'm
It's
saying?
crazy because nobody discounts the Bucks win.
No, you don't even think about that.
No, you
No.
don't even think. Yeah, the Bucks won the Super Bowl. Congrats, Trey.
It's
Yeah.
Tom Brady. Yeah.
Yeah.
What's funny is we were talking about the Cubs the other day, and the Cubs just can't beat the Mets. They lost 2 of 3.
2 or 3 of the Mets, yeah, but they're still in good shape. They're 2.5 out at first. I still, like I always say, they have the best, most talented roster in the NL Central. I still think they're gonna win the division. They have the same record as the Reds, but the Reds are obviously, I think, in kind of a free fall right now.
I think the Reds. They lost the Marlins last night. Yeah, they lost the Marlins last night. Baseball still it's very interesting. Though a lot of teams in both NLA and the AL is in the wild card
Yeah,
race.
and there's only 2 divisions I think are nailed down. You got the Braves way ahead in the East, and I as of today, I'm CNN reports the Dodgers have won the West, but we still have 4 more divisions that are kind of up for grabs. The AL West is wild.
Yeah, that one
That
is.
could go down to the last day.
AL East doesn't really matter. It's the Orioles or the.
Or the Rays.
Like-
And the Rays are in free fall. McClanahan's out for the year now.
The Rays
So
are so
I think the
fucked.
Orioles are the next team I would kind of put my button on as far as win the division. But
Yeah. Couple other of topics. Did you guys see Rory? I think I'm getting sick of Rory. I'm getting absolutely sick of him. He's just on this high horse for no reason still, I think. And he's like, and someone asked him about Phil betting on the Ryder Cup, and Phil also did come out saying that he didn't bet on the Ryder Cup. He's like, I have a gambling problem. I admit that, and I'm working on that, but I never bet on the Ryder Cup.
Did you hear the story? He tried to, and the person handing in his bets said, "No, this is not a good idea."
Yeah,
and didn't hand it in for him.
Yeah, 100%. I'm sure there's so much other shit.
Technically,
that went
no,
through
he
it.
didn't.
He didn't bet on it.
Technically,
Didn't bet on it. Had some good friends or his.
Can we show golf clips or like Rory's speech? Do you guys know?
Yeah,
Okay.
it's just him talking, right? It's not a highlight. So this is what Rory said in his.
Totally different topic. The talk of the golf world is this book excerpt that came out about Phil Mickelson. I'm curious what the reaction in there was when you read about it.
I mean, at least he can bet on the Ryder Cup this year because he won't be a part of it. So.
See, like, he's just so It's just so salty. And first of all,
I like that though.
oh, I like the. It's a little annoying from him because he's been so like, just let the live stuff go. It's you're.
Yeah, but if you're him, what do? You've taken such a hard stand that when they do bizarrely merge,
Why are you still standing up for a team? Also, someone that fucked you. I think it's all fucked up, but they fucked him really bad.
Yes, they do. Yes, they did. Excuse me. Yes, I agree 100% with that.
So like you're still, and like also Phil Mickelson's one of the legends of golf. No, he was in 12 straight Ryder Cups. Like that's just where it's like, I don't know. I think that's weird.
I think it makes total sense, the story that came out, how much he lost on gambling, why he took the money now.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
And I think he's
Checks
pretty.
out.
I think he's pretty
and also,
open to it.
I thought I might be mistaken, but those numbers were like from 2010 to 2012,
Yeah, it was pretty
like over a decade ago,
Yeah,
right?
he's in way deep in now.
And one thing about Rory that I don't think is talked about enough, you know how people talk about the Madden curse? How the year when Rory got a video game, he hasn't won a major since then. I think that is so low key.
But there are a couple golfers who like you thought was going to be the next. I guess it's just people tiger chasing.
I just think it's
like
a little
Jordan Spieth.
interesting.
Like you thought he was just going to not lose a major.
Yeah,
think
when you're
Tiger-
young and you win 2 majors in the
Yeah.
same year, it's
I
like,
think
all right, well, Tiger's
ruined.
fucked.
Tiger ruined our, not ruined, but like ruined our thought on golf. Like when that like Spieth, even Koepka, Rory, when they were young, like he won 2 that year. It's like okay, they're gonna win.
The
all of them.
expectations are so high.
They're so high because no one's ever gonna do what Tiger did, and no one's gonna be as good. And I also think the field is a lot better now. There's a lot better younger golfers all in one field of the tournament than when Tiger was there. I'm not taking anything away from Tiger.
I remember when Jordan was, especially when he retired the first time, everyone was like, who's the next Jordan? And we couldn't wait to anoint the next Jordan. It's like, well, that doesn't work that way. Jordans are special. Tigers are special.
Kind of
They
funny.
don't come around.
It did work that way too.
It took a while, though.
Yeah. It took a while, but like
I'm talking about like when he first retired. So you're going back to like 93. Like,
when
Kobe
he first did.
was, Kobe was Kobe. Then, LeBron,
Did he
obviously.
retire a second time?
96, 97, 98.
LeBron was 2003.
Something like that. And Kobe kind of filled that space for a while. if you
Yeah,
will.
and then now we have the next LeBron. Everyone says.
They were even willing to say this guy Harold Miner on the Heat. They called him Baby Jordan. It's like, no, Harold Miner had no business.
Did Jordan retired in like 02, 01?
No, he came back
Yeah, he came back.
in 01.
Yeah.
And he played 2 years so he retired in 03 with the Wizards.
Gotcha.
So that's
And
what I'm saying. It
yeah.
kind of went
Worked out. It ended up working out, right?
And then it worked out now where like LeBron's almost done, and we'll see about Wembanyama, but that's what everyone says.
Yeah, he was supposed to make his announcement coming back the same week as 9/11, I believe, Jordan. And then he ended up giving all his money, I believe, to 9/11 charities, or a huge amount of it that first year, which is
Wasn't Michael Beasley one of those guys too when he was drafted second by the Heat?
Beasley was.
he
supposed
was.
to be-
Yeah,
he
he
was
was supposed to be there.
incredible.
The best quote ever. Your favorite player is favorite player.
Yep.
Yeah.
Exactly. What else was on that topic sheet that I had?
Here, I'll give it to you.
Oh, now you'll give it to me.
Well, I wanted to read it. You also got one you left behind, and you're like, right?
I gave you the sheet before this.
And he's
time.
mad I won't give
I
him
have-
mine.
I have
Go get
3
your
right
own.
here.
I know, I completely forgot it when I.
And he blames me.
well, I was,
for his
I'll just
mistakes.
get it. And then he's like, so what would you want to do with the buy and sell?
So I was thinking we could just do like a buy-sell segment where I name a quarterback. We kind of talked enough quarterbacks today, but we could talk teams, a rookie, where buy a team, sell a team.
I want you to do it, Dukes.
Want me to buy a team?
No, you give us the
Dukes.
All right, I want you guys to buy a team going into the NFL season and then sell a team. A team that you think will, exceed expectations, you buy. Someone that's going to underperform, sell.
Okay. Who wants to go first?
What are we doing it like to our own expectations or like what the line would be kind of thing? You know what I mean?
I think to your own expectations. Yeah.
We'll
It's a
disagree,
personal
agree.
buy-sell.
Well, I mean, of playoff teams last year, like Tampa is going to fall the furthest, I think, of teams that made the playoffs last year.
I don't think it would necessarily be that. I'd probably say that on expectations.
Yeah, it's more like I'm gonna sell the Chargers. I'm gonna sell the
Shocker.
Chargers. I think that I'm being completely honest though too with this one. I really do think that their schedule is very hard. Their division is hard, and Eckler. You don't know if he's happy there or not. I think their defense also is not very good, and I think that always will be a problem with them. And if you want to talk injuries, they're always injured, so I'm selling them. And I'm going to buy the Jaguars really, really high. I'm sold on them completely. I thought I was going to try and go against them this year, but I think that I'm buying the Jaguars.
I think the Jaguars make the AFC Championship game.
I can
Wow.
see that. I really do. I agree with you.
Yeah, we'll see. I'm buying on a couple of teams. Number one, the Saints. I think they win their division rather easily.
So that's interesting because that division's fucking so
it's a mess.
Trash.
such a mess.
It's a mess. The Saints were bad last year, but they weren't that bad.
7 and 10.
basement, like
You're saying just because they have a quarterback that
correct,
has been around a pretty competent quarterback.
correct.
And
Nothing that any one of the other teams has.
is Michael Thomas going to be Michael Thomas? Like imagine he is though. That's what I'm
Got a
saying.
quarterback.
Like you don't know.
Yes.
Maybe he buys in. That division is so fucking weird. Like are the Panthers going to be good? Like I have no idea.
I think the Saints.
I think the Saints are the safest.
Yes.
Look at those four.
The Saints, the Bears, they were my pick. I think they make the playoffs.
You think the Bears make the playoffs?
Yeah, they do.
I disagree.
With that too. I'm going to sell the Miami Dolphins.
You look at my baseball takes before the season started.
You like this? Remember, you like the Pirates.
I did like the Pirates.
Oh no, you like them just to have, and that's looking promising.
But I said the Diamondbacks would be in the mix, which they have been. They basically are in the series. And look who won the AL East in my bracket.
Was it the Orioles?
Mm-hmm.
There you go, attaboy,
Yeah,
Smitty.
so-
All right, that's fair.
As you were.
That's fair. Thank you, General Smitty. I will. I'm going to sell the Dolphins only because I just don't trust Tua is going to stay healthy, and I think the division got tougher with now the Jets being a force along with the Bills. So I can see the Dolphins, not having the best year. And I'm gonna sell two teams instead of buying one. I'm also gonna sell on the Cowboys. I think this is the year they kind of slip. I know they had a year a couple years ago they slipped back and fell more because of injury. I think this year they slipped back and fall just because of. I just don't know how much. When are they gonna? They've been a 12, 10, 11, 12 win team for so long.
That's
but
what they are.
Immediately then
Yeah,
fold.
they're just complacent.
That's just
They're
what
good. They're a good complacent team.
You guys think they're going to win 12 games again this year? I don't see that happening.
I don't think they'll win 10, but they'll win 10.
They won
Or I don't think they'll win 12. I think they'll
They'll
win
win
10 and
10.
make the playoffs.
Dude, they might. They really might. The Cowboys are such a team that Dak looks great. They're on a roll, and then they just shit the bed. Like CeeDee Lamb is one of the top receivers. Pollard, see how he is on this contract thing that he's not happy with. But like, the division isn't that hard. You know what I mean? That they play. The Eagles obviously are hard, but like the rest aren't crazy hard. The Giants can get them, or the Commanders suck.
Commanders will take a step back. They were 8-1 last year. They'll take a step back.
Like their schedule isn't crazy hard. That's why I could see them winning 12 games again.
And you get knocked around.
I'll never trust them in the playoffs. And Dak, I never trust. He'll throw over 10 interceptions like he said he wasn't going to easily.
How about the Rams next year? So the Rams went 5-12 last year. Like they won't be that bad again. There's like no chance. Right?
Again, depends on Stafford. Depends on how it is. And Cooper Kupp was also hurt last year, so like
They don't have Baker.
And they're not going to have Stafford play in the
Baker,
preseason.
they only
right?
got 5 wins. 'Cause Baker.
Like Stafford won't play a snap in the preseason, so we're not going to know what we get until week 1 with them.
I mean, if Stafford's healthy, they'll be competitive.
Oh yeah,
Sure. Like they'll be better than 5 wins. What's their over-under for the year? It's got to be 9.
I don't know how their defense is though.
I'll look that up.
When you still have Aaron Donald, you're still.
Could I give you guys a sell?
Yeah.
Bills. I think that there's a window that they had to win the Super Bowl, and I think that they missed it. And again, I'm not going to say they're going to win 4 games. No, like I think they'll 9, 10 games, maybe be on the cusp of a playoff berth. But I do not think that they're the Super Bowl contenders that they have been in the past few years.
Yeah, if they have the same exact season like last year, it's a failure beyond means.
Yeah,
It's
Rams-
crazy what 13 seconds can do to you.
Rams over under 6.5.
Really?
And that's just because no one knows about Stafford, like how he's going to perform after all that. The Bills I could see it a little bit, I guess, but that division. So who's the worst team in that division? The Patriots?
Yeah.
Well, maybe
clearly.
though, you don't know. Actually, I guess you can't really say anything about the Jets yet. But you're just looking on
I
paper.
mean, if you just look at the line. So to win the division, Bills are plus 125, Jets are plus 250, Dolphins plus 300, the Patriots plus 850. Patriots stink.
I think they're very mediocre. I wouldn't
They
say
might
they
stink.
I think they're very.
There's reports out of their training camp that
Also,
wide receivers look horrible.
Before this next person talks, I want everyone to know that Dukes is from Long Island. I forgot to say that just for no reason at all. I'm going to say that, but yes, he is a Patriots fan.
They're going to overperform. They're going to be a wild card team. They're going to make the playoffs. It's going to be a clasic Bill Belichick defense. We're going to beat the Jets twice. Mac Jones, you're going to suck. You're going to suck Justin Fields' dick for his 3rd year. When Mac Jones in his 2nd year, the most important year for a quarterback, he had a defensive coordinator as his quarterback's coach and offensive.
So isn't that
coordinator.
Bill Belichick's fault?
It was the worst coaching job of Bill Belichick's career.
So then why are you so confident that he's going to
Because
do
he
well?
finally has an offensive coordinator. Bill O'Brien wasn't a good GM or head coach. Does that mean he's not a brilliant offensive mind?
I was going
Patriots
to
are going to overperform.
Make a joke, being like, before he said that, I was going to make a joke like these Patriots fans are just still, and he deserves it 1,000%, but they're still like, oh, Bill Belichick classic Bill will be there.
You know the last time the Patriots even won?
Coaches get old. Get old past the prime.
Yeah, I mean, we're talking. You have to go all the way back to 2018, the last time they won a playoff game.
Super Bowl?
The Super Bowl. But since then, they've gone 0-2 in the playoffs, and that's covering 4 seasons.
And again, and when they lost to the Bills, that was the worst defensive performance in playoff history. Not even Patriots playoff history, in playoff history. They didn't stop the Bills one time.
But
So that was like on Mac Jones.
I have a question for you, though. At what point are you like, this Bill Belichick thing just isn't working anymore? It's been 4 years
if
now.
I was a Jets fan, I would be saying the same thing to get him out of my division. So like I don't.
No, I'm
disagree with
asking
saying
you.
that.
I'm asking you as a Patriots fan.
I would
I'm
say-
asking you. When is enough with Bill Belichick?
I'd probably say next year I'd put him on the hot seat if it doesn't work out. I think they make the wild card this year.
Right, I understand that. Let's say they go 7-10 this year. As a Patriots fan, is that enough?
No.
You're
But
not
like
gonna- you
again,
don't
I'm
want
not
him
going to.
fired?
I'm not going to fire him. I think that he could
They'll
definitely
never
potentially be fired,
So-
but I wouldn't.
Yeah.
They'll never fire him. That's
Right.
all.
Yeah, I think they will. I think Kraft's kind of like caught up with the shit.
I mean, at some
I think
point-
I think he almost stiffed his balls this
At
offseason.
some point, you have to look at it.
Stepping down thing.
You have to
Yeah,
look,
yeah,
right,
of course.
You have to look at it like maybe it's Tom Brady and it's not Bill Belichick. At some point, you must be like, all right, maybe this guy isn't as great as we thought because the second Brady leaves, we're not very good.
He made the playoffs 2 years ago with the rookie quarterback.
Right, and how did that go?
They lost. I just brought it up. So I just told you how it went.
Right. So they're not great.
So he's 2 years removed from the quarterback.
Right. And they're 4 years and more removed from a playoff win.
Okay.
So when is enough? From a Patriots fan, I'm like, what? This fucking sucks.
You
We've
guys,
been mediocre for
the
4
Jets
years.
are sucking their
Jets are
over
horrible.
fucking hypotheticals. How you
Until
guys
this year.
might be.
Well, we got
How you
Aaron
guys might be.
Rodgers. I mean, we have,
Okay, so
pretty good quarterback.
when's the last time Aaron Rodgers won a Super Bowl or did anything really important in the playoffs? You
Well,
want to go 2 years ago, but who cares if we're talking playoff wins and playoff success?
yeah, I mean, he's had a better 4 years than Bill Belichick has.
And this is why the show will be in good hands. Let's do our picks in the last 2 minutes. Smitty, we'll start with Clemens.
Yeah, so Ryan Nelson, he's the Diamondbacks pitcher. He has an 8.01 ERA this year at home. I think if you look at his last 8 starts, he hasn't gotten 16 outs in 7 of them. So that's my pick of the day, under 15.5 outs.
Clemens also on a ice cold shot, and I'm rooting for him now.
This is I'm going to turn around today. I have been frigid. Marty's not wrong. I've been very cold, but today it's gonna turn around.
I did tell him that's how gambling works, but he didn't listen. I'm going Yankees, I'm going Reds, and I'm going Cubs.
And who's pitching again for the Yankees, Marty? It's Randy Vasquez.
Randy
That's
Vasquez.
right. And you know ball, right?
I
Keep taking
know
those
more
shots.
Baseball
Keep taking
than
those
you.
shots.
Just because you're old and know
It's
history.
because I actually look at who's pitching the day before. But that's fine.
But like you think you know everything.
Well, I knew who the Yankee starter was, so
don't.
I got that.
But
so.
you don't.
Well, I did know
everything.
that. So.
But like when
What's your favorite team?
When
You knew
can you realize? Yeah, I'm talking and you're being a dickhead. When can you just realize that you can never be wrong in your head?
Well,
Or I can admit I'm wrong.
I can be wrong. I just said I was ice cold, but
No, that's
I
a
will
fact
say
that
one thing
you're
I was
wrong.
right about was that Randy Vasquez is pitching for the Yankees today.
Didn't I just say that? Though?
No, you said you didn't know.
No, I said I. Okay, let's bring. If I bring back the tape, and if I said I don't know those words, you'll be right. I said I said Vasquez.
No, you said after I did. You said
No.
Yeah, I did. It's literally on tape.
Smitty, go
We're taking the night off.
for you.
Taking the night off.
You
Do that.
just want you have to stop being so stubborn. Everything you don't.
I just said a factual thing. You said it's not true.
You don't know everything.
I knew that.
You, Chris Clemmer, don't know everything. You're a stubborn prick.
I'm a stubborn prick who knows that Randy Vasquez is pitching for the New York Yankees.
Oh, nice. Good for you, Clemmer. Good job, buddy. Oh, good job. All right. That's the show. And we'll be back on Monday.
Marty can be wrong again.
Just, you're wrong all the time. Clemmer was the nerd in class that never got enough shine.